Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. So, welcome to. We are at the end of the fifth module as far as the AWK is concerned. So, probably we should be able to complete the session today. So, let us quickly go to the last topic of AWK, that is AWK functions. So, before we go to that, so let us go to the prompt. So, let me present the prompt now. Hope you could see the prompt. Are you able to see the prompt now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, done. Yeah. Let me go back to the same file what you have taken yesterday, but I have modified that. Since you have observed in the previous class, when you create a file with a space or a tab as a delimiter, we should be a bit careful, because if I use multiple spaces or multiple tabs, certain times, especially with fs and other type of variables, we were not getting a proper output. So it was advised to have a proper delimiter like a pipe or a hyphen or whichever we feel comfortable, or any one which is of single character, so that we can easily identify what are the delimiters and how to look at the various number of fields. So considering that as fact, so for today's class, let us remodify or let us redo the whatever the file you have taken yesterday with some additional fields, but a proper delimiter. So what I suggest is just have a look at this file. If you observe, I have removed all the spaces or tabs which has a delimiter, and I have inserted a pipe as a delimiter. If you observe, after one there is a pipe, after the name AAA there is a pipe, after the subject maths there is a pipe, after the marks there is a pipe, and I have added two more fields today for our discussion today. The next field what I've added here now, field 5, is a temperature. Since we are in the corona time, I just took the reading of each student. What is the temperature, body temperature I have given, and I have given the date of birth. So probably I suggest you to copy this data with you, because again, as we see today, as a awk functions, probably we should be able to understand how the result is coming or output is getting generated. So probably you can take this data same as the previous file, but I have removed the tab, I've added the pipe, and I've added two more columns, and these two columns are like this. Okay, so for your understanding, so I will create a tab now so that you can quickly add the data. Later I will merge that so that you need not waste your time. So this is additional column that I have added now. Probably you can copy. Can copy this data quickly, which is having two additional fields. The fifth field is a temperature, and the sixth field is a year of birth. Okay. So once you're done, we can go back to the discussion on the functions. Able to copy? So I will restore back. So this is the original file now, which contains 6 fields: number, name, subject, marks code in that subject, and the temperature of the student and the year of birth. So with this data, let us see how we can use the functions of awk. So now I will stop the screen here. Let me go back to the functions of awk one by one. So before we come back to the discussion, right? So there are some 8 functions which are there as a awk built-in functions. We have seen in the previous 2 classes some of the built-in variables in the form of NR, in the form of FS, in the form of OFS, in the form of file name, argc, argv, which are built-in variables, and we also looked at how to use them. Now in the similar category, we have awk functions. So awk functions are like any built-in functions we see in our C or C++ languages, which are going to help us to perform some primitive activities. Similar to that, even AWK comes with some of these built-in functions, which you are familiar already, but we will be using them from a awk perspective. So out of those, I have just listed which are normally available in other languages, which you can easily remember, so that you can have them for the exam purpose as well, because this is also one of the important question in the examination. So let me look at the first one, that is int. So as the name says int is a function here which takes a variable and it is going to provide the integer part of that variable. So normally the x what we might be passing here should be a float or a double type of data, wherein an integer portion will be extracted and displayed for us. So that is a function, or that is a functionality of the first one, that is intx. So as the name says, it is going to help us to get the only the integer portion of a given a float or a double number, what we will be able to send as an argument. And second, we have a function by name sqrt. As it shows, it is going to provide us the square root of a number which is being passed as an argument. If I pass the 25, hopefully we should be getting 5 as a result, because square root of 25 being 5. So that's what we are going to get here. Similarly, there is another function by name len. Len is going to provide the length. Actually, it is actually length. It is not len. Small correction we can make it here. It is length. So length has 2 variations here. The first variation, length without any arguments, is going to provide the length of a complete line. Length without any arguments is going to provide us the length of a complete line. Whereas same length, when we pass an argument, it is going to provide the length of only that argument or that particular field or that particular data that we are going to send. So there are 2 variations for a length here. Length without any arguments returns the length of a complete line. In other case, length, when we pass a variable, it is going to provide the length of that particular field or a variable. Hopefully we can see those both variations in maybe through examples. Next, we have a substring. As we know, substring is the syntax is pretty same as you will see, where we are going to extract a substring of a given string. So there are 3 parameters if you observe here. The first one is a string, that is a source string, followed by comma, followed by m. M says M says the starting position of the string from which I need to extract, and this is n actually, not u. The n says how many number of characters I want to extract from M. So M to N, how many characters are available, and those characters will be extracted. Probably we can see the example from this. So substring is going to provide a string which is extraction of a available source string. The last one probably is something handy. Whenever you want to execute a Unix command, probably in the awk script, we can use this. So system is a function. We have to pass a valid Unix command within double quotes. When you do that, probably you should be able to get execution of that as a part of the awk script. So you want to execute a Unix command as a part of the awk script. So we can go with this particular system. So int will provide the integer portion of a float or a double number. Square root is going to provide the square root of a given number, whereas the length with the two variations, length without parameters provides the length of the entire line, length with particular parameter provides the length of that particular variable or a field. Then substring takes 3 arguments. First one is a source string, second one is the position at which the extraction should begin, and last one is N, which talks about how many characters you want to extract starting from the position M in the given string str. And system is a special command, a special function rather, which is going to be used in the AWK to execute some of the commands of Unix. Probably we can do that. So system is one handy function. So there are other more functions in the form of index, split, and stuff like that. So probably let us not consider at this point of time, because from exam perspective, too easy for you to remember, we have taken these 5, 6. You can easily write these 5 without any confusion, because you already used these functions as a part of our C or C++, right? So let me have some examples here. Anyhow, we'll be showing them right now. So probably we can write some function here now, where I'm going to pass a 3.14, which is a number of a pi, which is a float number, but I want to extract only 3, which is integer portion here. Probably I can send it to int of x. I may get value as a 3. So whenever you have a float number, you want to extract an integer portion of it, probably you can use int. So in our own example, you have just seen that we have added the 5th column probably, which is a body temperature, which is a float number. Probably we can use this integer and extract only integer portion of it. Later we have a square root. If we give square root of 4, then we will be getting a 2. If I give square root of 36, we should be getting 6. Like that, we should be able to get the proper value. Or any number we can give, the corresponding square root will be displayed. Similarly, length, again a small correction here, it is not len, it is len gth. So as I said, len has 2 variations. One, without any arguments, will take the entire line. One with arguments will take only that particular argument or a field. So these are the 2 variations. Then we have a substring, which is like this. A string is going to be sent as a first argument, the position, the location at which the extraction should begin. From that, how many number of characters you want to extract. So this is what the example we have. And if you take the example of a Malayalam, I have taken small example here, some word. So where this word is having 4, 6, 9 characters, and these 9 characters, I want to extract only the name by name Laya. There is Laya. How do I extract that? So I need to provide the string as a first character, first parameter. That's what we have done. Where L starts, out of the extraction that I want to do, Laya, L is at the position 3. So 1, 2, 3. So from the character 3, I want to extract how many characters? 4 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4. So from 3 to 7, I want to extract, which is the value I am looking for, called as a Laya. So that's how the process we are going to do. We will be having small example to understand how this is being done. And the next we have a system, which is going to be used to execute any command that you want to execute from a Unix perspective. A Unix command you want to execute in a AWK script, probably we can do this. But what you have to keep in mind is the command itself have to be kept in the double quotes. If you look at the echo itself uses double quote, and command again has been kept in the double quotes. Again, we'll see some of those examples so that you will understand. So these are the 5, 6 functions that we have as far as the awk functions are concerned. So let us go back to the prompt and execute some of these and understand how this can be learned or how this can be visualized. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Fine. So let
No,
us,
sir.
okay, let us go to this now. So we are at the prompt now, and we'll be using the same file that we have got today, the revised file. So for your understanding, let me show once again. So this is a file. Hope you know why we have replaced the tab and white space today. If you use single space, no issue. But yesterday we have used a tab. Sometimes we have used multiple tabs also. That was a confusion point for the system, especially when some built-in variables and some activities are done. Thereby, you didn't get yesterday some output. Today, we have advised ourselves not to use those type of tabs as a delimiters, because which might lead to some unforeseen outputs. So better to have a delimiter like pipe or any single character so that we can avoid. So that's what the reason why today we have modified our program, our input file rather, so which contains similar to the previous one, first, second, third, fourth field. The fifth and sixth field we have added. Fifth field is nothing but the temperature. Sixth field is nothing but the year of birth of a particular person. So now what we'll do now is we will try to use the INT. So INT is nothing but how to extract the integer portion. So which field is having a float value now? We have a fifth field, right? Fifth field is having a temperature, which is having some 37.54, 36.77. So what I will do now here is, let us write a small command of a AWK so that I would like to display all those people whose temperature is more than 37. If that is the case, out of 10, I should get the result from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the people will come except the second fellow. Let us see whether we can display that, right? So now AWK -F. In the previous class, we have used like this space, but today we have created a new delimiter, which is a pipe for us. Now this is the process we are doing now. So now I've used that pipe as a parameter, delimiter. Now our syntax for awk says that whatever we have as a selection criteria or action should be in the single quotes. Now what is the selection criteria? Int, which field it is? Fifth field. If int $5 is greater than or equal to 37, I want to print. So print is a activity, which is an action rather. So I want to print only. What do you want? You want to print entire line, or you want to print only certain fields? Let me print only the name of the person, which is $2, followed by, probably we can print the temperature, which is $5. So let us see how it goes. So input file is stud.txt. So right. So what we have done now, we want to extract only the integer portion of some of the floating values which are given in our file as a fifth field. So $5 that is, and I am going to display only those people whose temperature is more than 37, so that we can take some care of them. So that is the idea. So this is how it is now. So out of 10, hopefully you should not see the second one B, rest should be available. A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Oh, so that's the concept what we are going to see. So if you want to give some understanding of this, out of 10 people, only one person is having temperature less than 37. So thereby we are going to display, to avoid confusion, let us print all the people. So this is how it is. So you can see now 2 is missing because 2 is having the temperature less than 37. Like this we are able to display. So what is happening here is, from the fifth field, which is having both floating, both integer value as well as a decimal point value, we are going to extract only the integer portion of it. Thereby we are taking a call here. So let me modify this, make it 38. Let us see who all will come into this. So now the output has been reduced to only those people who have 38 as a temperature. So this is an example how we can visualize how int can be used as a one of the functions. So I have used int as a function here, which is a built-in function to extract only the integer value of my script, which is our file, which is a stud.txt. Now let us come back to sqrt, that is a square root. So what I will do now here is I will take square root of whatever we have taken now. So square root of $5. So $5 is having the typically numbers from 36 to 47. So that is the range of values what I have now. So I will take square root of each of these. And if I take square root of each of these, minimum is 36, so 6. So I want to display all those whose square root is greater than or equal to 6. In this case, you should be getting the result of all the values. Let us see whether that is coming or not. So every value 37, 36, 37, 37, 38, 38, 39, 37, 37, 47, they obviously are greater than 36. So 6 or 36. So if you take 37 square root, it will be 6 point something. If you take 47 square root, it will be something around 6.8 something. So they're all above 6. Now let me modify this. So your output will be shrink now. Instead of 6, I will write 7. So what will happen now? All those whose let us say square root is less than 7, they will not be displayed here. So let us see. See, everywhere we have 36 to 47. So 36 to 47, the range will be only 6 to 6.8. So no value here is having greater than 49 or equal to 49. Thereby, we are not able to get any output. So let me modify this, make it as 6.5. Let us see what output you will be able to get. So this is only one function or one line which is having more than 6.5 as far as the square root is concerned. So like this, we can use square root, which is going to provide us the square root of a given value. So any doubt so far in these two functions, integer and square root, how we have used it now?
Sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Something? Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, in the above function, when we are printing the integer value,
Ah,
so in the field 5, it is 37.54.
which one?
Sorry, above first number in integer value in $5 fifth
ah.
field, the value is 37.54.
Ah.
We are printing int value, so it must not show the 0.54 value. Sir.
No, we are not printing int value. We are only using the condition. So don't forget arc criteria. What is arc? You're talking about this part, I believe. I will just highlight. You're talking about this portion, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is that? Is a selection criteria. That means I am telling to print, to display, to take some action. What is the criteria? I'm telling you the criteria should be $5. Whatever the $5 is having, only take the integer portion. Wherever the integer portion is 37, do something. What I want to do, I'm trying to print. Let me change this again. So for your understanding now, I'm not going to print everything now. That's what. So if I put print, entire line will be printed. So to avoid confusion, what I will do now, I will print only $1. I will print only $6. So where are you seeing now 37.54? You're not able to see, no?
No, sir.
So what you have to see is, don't get confused with the selection criteria. Selection criteria is only what you call, it is only telling the system that on what basis I need to get, but your original value is not altered. Right? So print is
Yes,
action part. What you want to print? I want to print entire line. When I print entire line, your original file, let me open the original file. See whether any changes to the original file. Absolutely no. Your original file is intact. We're not going to modify. So the beauty of filters is they are not going to modify the original file. Be careful. So filters are only going to extract, let it be grep, let it be scd, let it be your arc. They're all filters, no doubt. Filter means they will extract the existing data from the given file, but they will not alter the original file. That is the advantage of these filters. They will not alter. Original file will be intact. Only your data, what you want to see, might get changes like what we are going to do. So does that clear you, Raman?
yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, done. Now let us go back to the rest of two. Let us go with the length now. Okay. So let me consider length now. So before we go to the length, let me go to the file. Can you count how many characters each line is having? At least minimum. If I take this, This is containing, can you see somewhere how many characters in this? Oh, okay.
First one is 20.
20, perfect. So minimum is 20, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
characters are 20. What could be the maximum? What is the line of 9? So this length means every character, including pipe, space, everything is counted here.
$37.
37. Okay. So remember 20 to 37, the range, the length is available here. So let me go back to the prompt. Let us see what we want to display with this. Now AWK. Let us take coffee cup length LENGTH. I told there are two variations of length. One is without arguments, one with arguments. So I've just used length. So length means it takes the entire line. So our range is 20 to 37. So what I will do now, I will give a condition now. Wherever length is greater than 25, display. So there will be out of 10, all will not be having more than 25. Maybe some 3, 4 or 5, 6 will be there. Let us see what output we are going to get. So I am going to use length now here from the perspective that it is going to consider the length of entire line. So no field, complete line. And we know that our lines are having minimum 20 to 37. So this is output what we are going to get. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me print entire line to avoid confusion. First line, how much you have? It is not 20. It's more than 20, I believe.
I haven't counted the pipe. 25. 25.
So
25.
we have taken 25. Okay, let me give something else. I'll give 30. So if I give 30, all should not come. See, if you observe, only there are 3 lines or 3 input lines which are having more than 30. So like that, I can take the entire line as the data for considering the length. So when I take length without any parameters, it will give the complete line, or it will consider rather the complete line for calculating the length. So let me modify this. I will give say 28. So again few will come. So only 8, 9, 10 are still there. So let me make it 26. Few will come. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. Depending upon what is the length of each line, we will be able to display. But it will take the entire line from first character to the last character, including spaces, whatever you have, that is completely considered as a length. Now the next variation is, let us not go with the line, but let us go with the field. So I would like to take, let us say, 6th field, which is going to have the date of birth, right? So display, or you may not be able to visualize. If I take 6th field, let me take 2nd field. If I take only 2nd field is having a variation in the characters. In all other fields, there is a fixed size. So that you may not be able to feel that. Let me take $2, which is having a variation in the text file. We have a maths, we have a science, we have a physical science, we have a business maths. So like that. So now let me take maths, which is a 5 characters. So anything above 5, I would like to display, so that maths will not be displayed now, right? Maths is having a 5 characters. If I say greater than 5, maths should not be displayed. So what we are going to do here is, now we are not taking the entire line, but we are taking only a specific field for consideration. Let us see what is output we are going to get. So look. Okay.
Sir, field 3 ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು $3.
ಹೌದಾ? Oh, sorry. Okay. Correct. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
ಸರ್ ಮೂರನೇ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು.
Emma?
ಅದು ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
That's what, yeah, $3, no, $3. Yes. So we have signs which is having 7 characters, 7, 6, 7, more than 6, more than 5, more than 5. So we have a field by name mass that is not shown now. I will modify this. I will give equal to 5. Then probably you should get everything. So all 10 will be visible. So like that, I can get the extraction of only the length of a specific field. If that is the case, probably I can show. Or I can also modify this length greater than or equal to 5 and length of $3 less than or equal to, let us say 3, 6, okay, 10. I want to display only this, not everything. Wherever the third field width is between 5 and 10, I would like to display. So again, you will not get all 10 because there are some 2, 3 which are beyond 10. So let us see what output you will get. See, 8, 9, 10 are having a social science, physical science, business maths. Obviously, their length is beyond 10. So, but their length is beyond 10, but I am going to display only between 5 and 10. So probably I can use. So you can use all your operators, what you have used as a combination of your selection criteria. Make sure what you want to have. So you can combine functions along with the operators, what you have seen yesterday, the logical operators, or even the mathematical arithmetic operators, all we have combined now, and we are able to get the data what we want. So we have seen now integer, we have seen SQRT, and we have seen length in both the variations. One without parameters, where it considers the entire line, and second one with parameters, where it can consider a particular field which is specified as a part of the argument or a parameter. So next, let us go to substring, which is very important. Okay, so let me modify this program. So substring, I will take the date of birth. Assume now I want to display people. Okay, let me go to the file before that. So there are people here who have date of birth because we have not used that field. Let me use now at the substring. There are people who are born between 76 to 99, right? You can see people who are born between 76 to 99. I want to display people who are born between 80 to 90. How many will be coming now? 80 to 90? Only 2 people, right? So let me see how I can get that. I can use substring then. So AWK. So here my requirement is substring, SUB str. So how many parameters I will be passing to this? 3 parameters. What are they? The string.
String.
Yeah, which is a string here? $6. That field. 6 field, right?
6. Okay.
Yeah, $6 followed by the position
In the starting index position.
Position at which I need to start cutting. So we have 4 characters in the year of birth: 1990, 1985, 1996. So 19 is common. I don't want to cut. So 1996, there are 4 characters. I want to cut after the second character. That means third character onwards I want to cut, or I want to extract rather. That is what the second parameter is. What is the third parameter? From third character, how many characters I want to select? 91, 95, 67, 81. There are 2 characters, right? So that is how I am going to give like this. So any confusion on this? How we have given? We have to give the string. In our case, it is a $6, which is containing the year. Second, we have to give the starting position, that is index, that is 3. Because out of this 1995, 1996, 19 is not required for me. The last 2 is required for me, which is going to begin from the character 3. Thereby, I have given 3. Now we have got 2. 2 means 2 characters I want to select. So what is the concept now? That people who have born between 80 and substring, again same substring I will give because that will not change. We have born between 90, I will give say 95. I want to identify people who are born between these 2 years. If that is the case, I will give only these 4 people, 81, 86, 90, 91. So I can use substring in this fashion. So let me modify my file now so that we can have better understanding how it goes. So tell me which field we can modify now. Shall we modify the name field? I'll give XX, YY for everybody. XX, YY, XX, YY, XX, YY. So I'm just modifying the name so that we can have a better understanding. Now each name is having 8 characters. I want to extract, say, 1 character of A, 1 character of X. So AX, BX, CX, DX, EX, FX, GX, IX, JX. So how do you do that now? So there are 8 characters. So from the 8 characters, first 3 characters are not required for me. So I have to cut from the 4th character. How long from that? 2 characters. Okay, let me say AXX I want. So then probably I want to cut 3 characters. So let us write that. So substring. So it is $2. Now I want to display only, okay, here you may not feel anything, only we can display, nothing else. Yeah, let me take from 4th character you want to consider. After that it's only 3. It should be greater than, let me say AA. LUGXX. Will it make some sense? Let us see. If you observe, we have extracted the 4th, 5th, and 6th characters from each of the second field, and we want to display only those people whose string matches AXX to GXS. Anything beyond G, that is H, I, J, that is 8, 9, 10, they're not displayed because that's how the substring is going to be. So substring is very similar to your C or C++, wherein the first one is your original string or a source string, followed by the index or the starting position at which you want to start extracting the substring, and the number of characters post that you want to extract. So this is how the process is going to happen. So that is the concept behind substring. So any doubts with the substring?
No, sir.
Fine.
No, sir.
Yeah, then we can go to the last one, which is mainly for your system. I just created a small file yesterday. Let me check if it is available. Yes. gedit function.awk. So there is a file here. If you observe, it is having some begin. I've just used this to understand how to use that system. If you remember, in a AWK, we have seen the structure begin followed by braces. Then we have some portion of the AWK. At the end, we have an end. So begin and end are optional. You can write an awk script without them as well. But if at all you are using, you have to use in the format. Otherwise, begin, end, you may use, you may not use. That is optional. what is important here is to how to use them in a given syntactical form is what we have to remember. Otherwise, there is no mandatory that every awk script should have a begin or every awk script should have a end, not required. So choice is there. But if you use, you should be using begin should be on the top, end should be at the end. So that concept we have to follow with the same syntax. Otherwise, I need not write always begin and end. Okay. So now I have written a begin. If you look at, there are 3 variations I have used here. So I have used the first one as a print, which talks that typical AWK. So typical AWK uses print. I have used that. Now I want to demonstrate the system. What is the system command says or system function says? You want to execute any Unix command within the awk script. So probably we can use system. So that's what the concept we have used. System within parenthesis echo AWK script. So what echo has to do now? Echo is a Unix command. It has to execute whatever is followed by this, that is a awk script. But whatever you are going to use, have to keep in the within the double quotes, because system takes string as a command. Now to demonstrate further, I've taken a date command. So date is a command of Unix which I have embedded in the double quotes and sent to system now. So output should be now this script is AWK. If echo is executed through system in the AWK, you should get AWK script. Then if date command is executed through system, output of a date command should come as a output of this AWK script. So let us see whether it is being done or not. So what we are going to demonstrate here is how to use a system. So system is a function which is a built-in function using which we can execute Unix commands within the awk script. So let us execute that. AWK -f followed by the name of the program is function AWK, right? So let me execute this now. So see, that's what is happening. So first one is no challenge because it is as part of the AWK. But what we're demonstrating is the next 2 lines. AWK script is a result of a echo. So echo is executed within the awk script, but using a system command. Even the date command got executed within the awk script using the system function. So system is a function using which we can execute the Unix compatible commands in awk scripts. So that is what we have to demonstrate here as far as the system is concerned. This is how we can use the functions which are the built-in functions of AWK so that we can get the benefits of AWK, whatever we have been getting like any other programming language. So with this, probably we can conclude the awk part. But there is one concept probably which you can understand, which we have not used so far. The concept is, I'll just show how to use that now. There is a concept called as a get line. So get line is some like your read. I don't know if you remember in shell script, we have used this, right? What is the purpose of read here now? Recall what is the purpose of read?
To take the file name from the user.
So that's true, but we call it as an interactive shell script, right?
Yes, sir.
So you want to take some data from a user whenever the program executes or shell script execute. So we are using this process. So read was used as a interactive mechanism to extract the data from the user. In the same lines, we have a get line. Whenever I use a get line, I'm not going to use shell script, but get line is for a awk script. In awk also, we can say print enter file name. When I use enter file name, I can use get line. So get line f name. That's all the difference. There is no, instead of read, we are going to use get line here. So get line is another function of a, or another statement, I should not say function, another statement of a AWK, which is similar to read. So purpose of read in shell script was to take an interactive input from the user. In the same lines, we have a get line, which is going to get the data from the user as and when the awk script gets executes. That is the difference between read and a get line. So read is specific to shell, whereas a get line is specific to AWK. Purpose remains same. So this is one point which I wanted to because that is there as a part of the syllabus. So that's what we thought we can look at that. In addition to that, we have various other things with respect to the arc and all, but they're not part of the syllabus. Like your for loop, we have used already in the lab, but even though that is not there in the syllabus, you know how to use the for loop. So for loops are two varieties in arc. One, similar to your C. What is the structure of a C for loop? For I is equal to 0, semicolon, I is less than or equal to 10, semicolon, I plus plus, open brace. The same concept is pretty same in AWK. We have used as well. In addition to that, we have associative arrays in AWK. Corresponding to associative arrays, there is one more variation of a for loop. What is that? For B in book. We have used already in one of those programs. That is a different variety, which is same as your shell script for loop. In shell script, what is the for loop syntax? For I in $. That's what we have written in many of the scripts, or for I in file list. Like that, we have a similar way of writing a for loop in AWK. So AWK comes with two different for loops. One is a same as a C or C++. Another one same as a shell script. So the shell script variation is mainly for the associative arrays, because associative arrays are something special in AWK, and for them to facilitate a for loop construct, we have a second variety. So otherwise, for loop is pretty same, and if and all is the same as what we have used in your C language. So what you have to keep in mind, any question that comes on AWK, you just remember C language and start writing examples. Hopefully, you should be able to do justice, because if you observe, whatever we have done so far is pretty same as a C language syntax, because AWK, after all, is designed or invented by a person by name Kernighan, who was part of the C definition as well. So that's how the concept of AWK. So you should not be losing anything. So quickly, let me go to some of the question papers, so that to give a boost confidence how this AWK or any other commands are being used. Maybe let me take a couple of question papers quickly, so that you'll get a confidence how things are being done. So let me go to the question papers now. I will share the AWK notes maybe by today, end of the day. So let me take the question paper that was asked recently for your seniors. So your syllabus is different. So I will go to only arc part of this. Hope the question paper is visible to you. Anyhow, I will be sharing this also with you. You can go through the portion as per syllabus and take these questions for you, because all questions may not be pertaining to you, because till last year Unix was complete Unix, but for you now there is a portion of module 1, module 2 taking from OS and all. You need not be taking entire question paper as a applicable question paper for you. As per the syllabus, probably you can module wise you can see. So coming to our module 4 of the previous question paper is equivalent to your module 5, that is AWK and advanced shell programming. If you look at this question paper now, explain the numeric built-in functions used in arc with an example each. So built-in functions, what you have used. So numeric built-in function, all your NR, FS and all, they are done for the numerics only. So we can explain any built-in functions what we have used there. Okay. Then write an arc script to delete duplicate lines from a text file. Already there is a program on this. That program should be able to help you. That program where we have deleted the lines with the one line program. So second, what is an associative array? Write a shell script. Again, this program we have written as a part of 11A or 11B. You can write that program. Next, we have a explain arc built-in variables. Okay, the first one is the built-in functions. Sorry, okay, the whatever we have discussed now, that is LENTH with the two variations, and probably we can look at integer, we can look at square root. I think these are the three things what we can.
Substring.
No, they're asking numeric built-in functions. So integer is a numeric built-in function, square root is a numeric built-in function, length with the two variations is a numeric built-in function, whereas a substring is not a numeric, it is a string related function. So that's probably they want to confuse you by writing numeric built-in functions, right? Out of 6 what you have seen, first 4 are the numeric built-in functions. So don't write system here, don't write substring. So both will not qualify here. Okay, next, write an arc script. That we are done. Next, be 8th one. Explain arc built-in variables. That is your NF, NR, file name, and those stuff. Okay, that is always question will be there. Then we have a sh command. You know what sh command is? How to use sh command for execution? Export we have seen, eval we have seen, execs. All these 3 things are always there in every question paper. So you cannot neglect them. Have a look at that. And write an arc program that finds the larger and smaller values for the 2 given inputs using user defined function. So we need to create a function here for a arc program that finds the larger and smaller values. Okay, probably we can look at that. Let me work on that if possible. I can come back to you on that. Because we don't have a concept of user defined function here, all are system defined functions only. So let me check whether this comes under our syllabus or not today. If that is the case, probably we can find some solution for that. Otherwise, checking what is a larger value, smaller value is pretty same. Take 2 values, A, B, and which is if A is greater than B, print A is larger and B is smaller, else print B is larger and A is smaller. So that's you could have written so many programs of that category in C. Just copy the same concept. Okay, there is no user defined function in syllabus now. At least if a question comes on this larger and smaller, probably you can copy the same syntax of your C program. Only thing is begin and end we have to add extra. Otherwise, in between, if A is greater than B, that is a $A is greater than $B, or $1 is greater than $2, then printf larger is A, smaller is B, else larger is B, smaller is A. That's all we have to do here, nothing else. Okay, so this is how the question papers will be there. If time permits, probably we can discuss some of the question papers. Otherwise, with this, probably we should be able to conclude the discussion what we have as far as the Unix is concerned. Okay, so let me stop at this point of time. If you have any doubts, please let me know. So meanwhile,